Hello, I am Amy, and welcome back to Book Girl. Today we are going to discuss one of my favorite topics, biographies. We're going, I just finished reading Son of the Smoky Sea, which is a Messner biography. Mine didn't come with a dust jacket. That happens when you're looking at old books. The Messner biographies were published by the Julian Messner Company, and they were published between the 1940s and 60s. And the goal was to curate a library of engaging biographies for students to read. I would recommend them for kids in about 7th to 12th grade. Maybe a mature 6th grader could handle some of them. But the reading level is rather high. So definitely somebody with a good, strong reading level. They cover all sorts of people and all sorts of topics. Abraham Lincoln, there's one on his mom, Winston Churchill. This particular one is Son of the Smoky Sea, which was followed by a sequel, and I can't remember the sequel's name off the top of my head. I will see if I can scrounge it up while we are talking today. And this is about he called himself an Aleutian. He was from Alaska, and he was an Alaskan native, and he fought in World War II, which in his second book talks more about the war. Son of the Smoky Sea is more about how he started off in Alaska, and then he came to the mainland United States, and then he went back to Alaska, and he ultimately decided to go back to the mainland of the United States. And if you're one of those people who kind of has traveled a lot or really struggled to figure out where do I fit in, where do I belong, you could really, I think, identify with Simeon Oliver. That is the author's name. He also his native name was Nutchuck, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And he did the illustrations in this book, and he worked with with Alden Hatch to finish his autobiography, memoir. And it's so good. I learned so much about Alaska. I haven't been there yet. It's on my list. We'll see if we make it someday. I learned about all the different people groups there. There's more than just one or two. There are several, and they do not like to be mixed up. And the terms that he used for himself and for his groups are not necessarily what people currently want to use, so I won't go into that, but know that that's in here as well. And he writes in just a very down-to-earth, basic way of speaking. He's just like talking to a friend and telling you about his life story and how he fell in love with the piano and how he moved around and why he was excited to get out into the outside world and what he found when he got there. On reading, I read his second book first, and I didn't feel like I was missing a big chunk of it by reading the second one first. The second one, I got at a book sale in where we were living before, and I didn't bring it with me when we moved. So now, when we got here, one of the first places I went, I walked into a used bookstore, and I found his first book, and I about fell over, and I was so excited because, I still don't have the complete set now, but I was so excited to read this book, and see what the first part of his life was like. And then I got even more excited because when I got home, I opened it up and I found out that it is actually autographed. There's an inscription in here that's dated and everything to the people that he gifted this to, and from the author. He wrote it and he put his little symbol here, and it's super cute and super sweet. I will try to take a picture of that and stick it in the comments for you so you can see. And that I love finding those unique things. I mean, Simeon Oliver passed away before I was born, and here I am holding a book that was signed by him. It's unique and very cool to me. This one is illustrated with black and white photographs of the landscape and the cities. Well, not, I mean, it's Alaska. They're not really big cities, but the little towns and things in Alaska. It also has some sketchings in it on the chapter headings that are illustrated by the author. And then there's photos in here of Simeon and his family and his friends and people that were important to him. He talks about, he grew up and spent a lot of time on an American mission in Alaska, and he talks heavily about what a positive impact the mission had on him. Now, I know that not all of the American missions were good. I know that there's a really rough history with what happened with it, but I think that it's good to hear also the good stories too. Yes, we need to talk about and address the fact that not everything was good and positive, and that there was a lot of evil that was done in missions over the years, but there were also a lot of really good, genuine Christians who were trying to help and improve the lives of people that they came across. Or at the very least, they were trying to show Jesus to them. So take that for what it is. I will link in the description the library thing page about the Julian Messner biographies, because I feel like it explains it very well. But if you run into a Messner biography in the wild, pick it up. Read it for yourself. Read it to your kids. They're very well illustrated, or well written, and illustrated often. And they are a good intro for anyone on an individual. Like I said, they were written by experts in the field, and someone who cared passionately and deeply about the topic, someone who knew really what they were researching and had spent their lives studying the person that they were writing about. And so there's that genuineness to them, and then you get that wisdom and that sincerity from someone who really truly knows what they're talking about. But they're also written at an accessible level. Unfortunately, our culture today, kids don't have the intelligence that they had when these books were first published. I feel like they were written for young adults, like your 12 to 14-year-olds when they were originally published. But now we definitely have to up that a little bit, because our reading levels just aren't there. Our attention spans aren't there. And but adults, for sure, you can get something out of the Messner biographies. I love reading them because they're just a good intro to different people, and people that you would not necessarily naturally learn about. I wouldn't just, well, I mean, I probably would because it's me, but you know, I haven't gone to Alaska. I haven't poked at any bookstores in Alaska to see, like, oh, what's local, what are the local things there. But I can pick up this Messner biography and learn about one facet of the culture and one way of life that was there at that time, and maybe find something else later that'll teach me something more about it, about a different culture and a different way of life there. So yeah, the Messner biographies, pick them up, use them they're good for research, they're good for just general studying, they're engaging too, very, very engaging and thought-provoking. So that is Son of the Smoky Sea. If you have a favorite Messner biography, please drop it in the comments. If you have a favorite biography series, drop that in the comments and let us know. And as always, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you catch all my videos here as we talk about books and enjoy time together. That's all I've got for you today, so until next time, happy reading!